One does not simply bottom unprepared. I awoke to Noah's blaring alarm. He rolled over, grabbing his phone to silence it. He leaned back toward me. We smiled at one another with bleary eyes. He kissed me, and I returned the gesture. Noah took a shower to get ready for his early class. While he was occupied, I lay in his bed. A bookshelf dominated the wall facing me. Books seemed to overflow the shelf. Some fiction, some nonfiction, memoirs, manga, comics, all 6 of the Scott Pilgrim graphic novels sat next to the Walking Dead graphic novels. On the middle shelf was a picture of Christ walking on the water. Peter, beckoned by Christ, had stepped out of the disciples' fishing boat to Christ, but he faltered and began to sink. "Lord, save me," Peter had said. Christ reached out to Peter and pulled him out of the water, saying to Peter, "O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt?" The raw emotion of the painting had always sent chills down my spine, but this time I looked away. My entire life I had cried, "Lord, save me." I had trusted that I could avoid this situation, believing that my desire to be gay would be taken from me one day. And maybe his arm was extended toward me, perhaps as Bishop Stoll, or even Claire. But I would accept neither as my deliverance. Why would Noah have this painting if he hated the church so much? Maybe his belief was complicated, like mine apparently now was. Noah emerged from the bathroom with a towel draped over his shoulder, and water droplets forming at the ends of his long hair. He offered to let me shower next while he made breakfast for us. I declined both breakfast and the shower, leaving his apartment to run home before my morning class. I drove home in a haze over the last night. Starting this year, I had found myself in a world where, suddenly, people seemed to want something from me. But I was just trying to figure myself out, and I didn't know how to communicate to them that I didn't want something from them in return. Me being me, I acted as if nothing was wrong. I wasn't a 23-year-old male in love with another male who had just lost his virginity to a different male. Under the facade, however, my mind railed against the intractable problem of how to unwind the last 24 hours and convince Easton to love me. But there was no obvious solution. Some things you just couldn't come back from. Noah and I began hanging out every day. I stopped texting Easton, too ashamed of the situation in which I found myself with Noah. Every day after class, I would head over to Noah's apartment. His roommates were always out, so we had the apartment to ourselves. Despite my panic over the myriad of consequences this relationship was sure to have, I played along. This new plotline in my life was a safe avenue of exploration. Noah wasn't a BYU student. He didn't live in BYU-approved housing or even Provo. The ever-present consequences that haunted my every interaction with Easton were gone. Here was a chance at something different. It would be risk-free, unless I was an idiot and blabbed about it or something, but that wouldn't happen. No, that would just be dumb. This was manageable. Both Noah and I were new to having sex, so we experimented. A lot. On day 3, some idiot that definitely was not me suggested we try anal. And let's just say it did not go well for the person who suggested it. Okay, it was me. I suggested anal. I lasted maybe 30 agonizing seconds before pulling away from Noah, half afraid he would try to continue. He did not. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Nothing." I collapsed to the bed on shaky arms and rolled over. "I just need a minute." "It's okay," Noah said. He positioned himself beside me, holding me in his arms as we lay on his bed naked. I avoided his gaze, emotions bubbling up within me. Noah watched me with guilt twisting his expression. "It's okay if you cry. I don't mind." I broke down into tears, like flat-out sobbing as a relative stranger held me naked in his arms. He didn't stop me. He hugged me, seeming unable to process his own feelings while I cried into his shoulder. My breathing was shallow. My body shook with trauma. I couldn't seem to control myself or my display of emotions. I had sabotaged my relationship with Easton. Every day that I returned to be with Noah further solidified our demise. Last month, I came out to Mom. I had assured her that I would be responsible and that I was going to make good decisions. Apparently, I was just a boy who was led by whims. All of my talk of coming to know myself had been the bullshit rationalizations of a person happy to assist in their own dismantling. My family would disown me, I was sure. How could I shatter their perception of me like this? I could never tell them. But I was already on Bishop Stoll's radar. He loomed closer over my head every day. How could this stay quiet? I had hoped to avoid him, but now, trembling in the wake of my sin, I knew this would all catch up to me. My tears subsided after a time, but my shaking continued out of control. My breaths came in short gasps and showed no signs of improving. Something was wrong with my body. A lack of air stopped my words. Forcing shaky breaths didn't help. I don't know what's wrong. I can't stop shaking. He looked at me like he had accidentally nicked my jugular and was watching me bleed out. He jumped up and began filling his bathtub. "Come on," he said moments later, offering me his hand. I took it. He led me to the water, sitting me down. A prolonged breath calmed me, but I still shook in the bubbling water. I glanced at Noah, feeling awkward. "You can join me." Noah's penitent expression lightened. "You sure?" I nodded, shifting to make room for him. He stepped in, raising the water to a precarious level. We sat together in the warm water as I tried to control my shaking. "I'm sorry," Noah said across from me in the bath. "I feel terrible. We'll do it right next time." "You think there will be a next time?" I grinned in grim irony. "Maybe if I get over the trauma of the first time." The next day was Thursday. Usually, I would have gone to USGA, but I couldn't face Easton after everything, so I didn't go. He texted me during the meeting. "Easton, hey, are you still interested in doing USGA?" It took me 2 hours to respond. I felt sick. I had to tell him what had happened. "Me, do you think we could talk tomorrow?" "Easton, sure. Why, what's up?" "Easton, is everything okay?" "Me, I'm okay. I just need someone to talk to, I guess." We met up the next day on campus, Friday, near the Heber J. Grant building, also known as the Testing Center. Many students claim that the Testing Center is single-handedly responsible for inspiring the most prayers on campus. He approached. I averted my gaze, ashamed. "How have you been?" Easton asked. I bounced on the balls of my feet, attempting nonchalance. "All right." My pulse raced. I hadn't seen him in 2 weeks. All my feelings toward him crashed back into me. Confessing to Easton was going to be harder than I thought. I loved him, and I was about to hurt him. We strolled without intention, making small talk. "You said you wanted to talk about something?" Easton asked when the conversation inevitably died. I nodded, pursing my lips. "Can we sit?" We sat on a park bench outside the Clark building. He waited for me to speak. Hating myself, I winced. "I've been avoiding you." "I kind of figured," Easton said. "Is that what you wanted to talk about?" "I hooked up with someone." I looked at the ground, afraid to meet Easton's gaze. His response came slowly. "Who was it?" "It doesn't matter." I shook my head, shame boiling up my throat. "I just feel bad because you and it meant something, what we had." "How far did you go with this person?" Easton asked. "All the way." "Did you have sex?" "Yes." "Anal sex?" I cleared my throat. "Yes." "Did you use a condom?" "Yes." My words were a shame-born lie that now bothers me a lot. I was an idiot. But the interaction was a reminder that safe sex was a thing that responsible people were supposed to do. "At least there's that," Easton said. "Do I know him or something?" I nodded. "He went on a couple of dates with a guy you tried to date a while ago." Noah and I had discovered our friend connection 2 days ago. Easton's mouth fell open. "Wait, did you hook up with Noah?" I buried my face in my hands. We still sat on a bench outside the Clark building. "I don't know what to do about it." "Do you like him?" I shrugged. "I don't know. I didn't mean for this to happen." My feelings toward Noah were complicated. "What will you do going forward?" Easton asked. It was a simple question. I think I had hoped Easton would be angry, giving me the motivation to say I wanted nothing more to do with Noah. Such was my mental state. "I don't know." "So does that mean we're done?" Easton asked. "I don't want to be done." "I won't tell you what to do," Easton said. "You need to do what's best for you." I nodded. "I have to tell Noah I'm not interested in dating." "Let me know how it goes," Easton said. "I'll still be around."